It's extremely important for us that our students are taught in the least restrictive environment, which is exactly what special education IDEA calls for. And one of the solutions for that is inclusion. And it's making sure that those students who can be in regular education classrooms, who are going to be held to the same expectations in terms of accountability expectations, in terms of learning expectations, and in terms of their ultimate expectations around graduation and their college and career goals, that those students have access to the types of materials, the type of learning opportunities that their peers have. In addition to that, we have to make sure that they get the supports they need, that their IEP calls for. And inclusion, by all means, is saying that we're going to look to the least restrictive environment, we're going to make sure you get the supports, and we're going to make sure that you're positioned to be successful when you graduate high school.
So we have like a club that meets with the students in the inclusion program and help them integrate into the campus activities. We have, they are integrated in all of their elective classes.
There's a lot of magic that happens in our classroom. It's really exciting. The relationships between those lines of differences when children are able to develop friendships with someone who's different, it's really magical.
I like watching snails race.
That's why the special ed inclusion model is a really incredible opportunity. And with the supports from the district of the correct placement and staffing and training materials, I feel like it can really happen. It can really happen for these kids, and it can change their lives.
We always play and we do stuff and we all play and go to circle drive and we eat and go up and down on the slide and not go in the ball pit and not go in the house. That's it.
The majority of our students in Oakland have mild to moderate learning challenges. The majority of our students should be accessing general education first so that they are college, career, and community ready. For students who have moderate to severe disabilities, of course we want to ensure that they have the same access to a rich, welcoming, caring school environment and provide them with access to general education courses if appropriate. And yet we still have the same expectations for those students too, to be prepared for college, career, and community.
Sometimes we go to the football game. Mm-hmm. We'll eat lunch together, go to Wendy's if we got the money.
You have to improve in that. You have to really focus on that. How am I going to differentiate? How am I going to scaffold these lessons so every kid has access?
Inclusion is just good teaching, basically. It's where all students are in a classroom with really good teaching and learning going on, and they all have access to it. The expectations are there, and everybody is successful and included.
I also think it's important that we call out the need for us as a district to really invest in training. We want to invest in training for our general education teachers on the best strategies possible to educate our students who are on IEPs, but students who are not on IEPs, and how that would work when they're together. And that same training for our special education teachers when they're in those spaces. We want to make sure they have the most skills possible. We know we have work to do on that regard, but we know that we're going to invest in that.
They get help in the classrooms from support staff, where they're getting modifications either done on the spot or they've gotten modifications done ahead of time by me, where they're in the class, they're hanging out with their friends, with the gen ed population, and that's one of the best things.
We're really able to set the paradigm for these kids that school is everybody, and we all have different ability levels and we all have different needs, and a responsive school is going to meet all those needs.
It's completely possible for us to have high expectations for students, have pull-out classes when necessary, but include students to the fullest extent possible. And we are not going to do that in a way that is disrespectful to students' IEPs, that disregards clinical diagnosis, that says that students need some individualized supports. We want to provide that. But where it's possible, we want to make sure that we're caring for their social needs, their emotional needs, and that we are recognizing that those needs are best taken care of as much as possible, interaction with their other peers, interactions with teachers, who are content teachers in addition to their special education teachers working together. So I think it's extremely important to recognize that.
Big shade, I should see lots of leaves. Big shade, big branches.
It's extremely important that when we say every student thrives, that we really mean every student, which means that we need to ensure that each child gets an education that truly prepares them for success, which means that they need to be exposed to material at the appropriate level for them, and that puts them in a position so that they can learn the things they need to learn to have success once they finish school. It's extremely important that our students who are on an IEP, that they have the best education possible. And we want to make sure in Oakland Unified that you have access to the curriculum you need, that you have access to the instruction that you need, and that you also have the expectation communicated to you and to your family that we're going to do everything we can to help you be successful.